Welcome to Repum Group's Item 24, where we take you a step beyond the standard FDD. We asked ourselves, why stop at 23 items when some of the most important insights live beyond the page? Here we're breaking down the inner workings of franchising and sharing real-life strategies and stories that drive the industry forward.
Welcome to another episode of Item 24. Today we're going to talk about the DNA of a successful franchisee. And when you really break it down, I have an example that I've used for a long time. And when you think of any franchise system that's out there, and you ask anybody in the system, franchisee-wise, what makes them successful, if you ask the top 20% of the franchise system, what makes them successful, they're going to say the systems. The systems work. It's a great brand. It has a great product. I get great support, so on and so forth. If you ask that same question to the bottom part of the system, which is the bottom 20% of the franchisor, and you ask them the same question, what do they usually say? They'll say things like, the brand doesn't work out. I don't have a good location. The product isn't good. My support isn't good. Marketing isn't good. The point being is they have access to all the same materials. They have access to all the same support, and they have access to the same product. So why are they saying that they don't have what it takes to be a successful franchisee? Typically, they're not looking themselves in the mirror and saying, what can I do to be a successful business owner? And probably the most important thing that has to be inside of someone to be successful anything is grit. Franchisees have to have grit. They have to have the ability to wake up every morning and saying, what am I doing day in and day out to make my business more successful? You can't rely on the franchisor to do the work for you, but what you should be relying on the franchisor for is the playbook. So a sound playbook that you execute on as a franchisee is ultimately what's going to set you aside from all the others that complain, that aren't doing the work, and frankly, don't want to do the work and look themselves in the mirror and understand what they need to do to be successful. The other thing is, and I do this myself all the time as an entrepreneur, is knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are. For example, I know my strengths and weaknesses around sales and marketing and leading teams. I know I'm not good at running spreadsheets. I'm not good at entering data, and I'm certainly not good at some details. And so when you look at those things and those elements, you need to hire around your weaknesses. When you do that as an entrepreneur and you can build your team, whether it's just 2 people or it's 100 people, ultimately, if you can execute on that, focus on what you're good on, and make sure you lead your team the right way, you're going to be successful as a franchisee. One of the other points I'll make about the successful franchisee is they need to pick and align with great franchisors. Unfortunately, not every single candidate that comes in to buy a franchise knows what they're looking for because, again, most of them haven't been franchisees before. But if you're looking to buy a franchise and you want to become a successful franchisee, you should be looking at a couple things that separate out good franchisors for ones that maybe aren't as aligned with making their franchisees successful. Number one, great leadership team. We always talk about making sure the team you're aligning with culturally works out for you. You feel as though that they are leading the charge in the brand the right way. And finally, that you look at the model and you say, they have the funding and they have the know-how to get me to the goals I want to get to. The other side of it is you want to make sure that you have within the industry you're aligning with, there's a lot of opportunity. Now, no one has a crystal ball and no one's going to tell you what the future holds. But what you can do is do your research and look at the industry as a whole. Where has it been over the last 5 years? And where are the projections looking like in the next 5 years? And the final thing I'll say is aligning yourself with the right franchisees in the system. If you become a franchisee of the system, make sure that you find the successful franchisees and get to know them really well. The reason for that is they can give you learning lessons. They are probably people that have pioneers with arrows in their back because they created some of the systems if they were early adapters of the franchise system. And even if they weren't and they've been in the system and have learned to be at the top of the 20% of the brand, ultimately they're doing something right. And so if you can learn from them, execute on that when you become a franchisee, you're also going to get to the success a lot faster if you follow other people that have been there and done it before.